The world is full of mystery. This is where I am. This is the island of Palawan. What's interesting is that it's shaped like a sea dragon with its mouth wide open. What's more interesting is the island right next to it. Yep, it's a crescent shape, just like the moon. So does this prove the legend of the Bakunawa? Or is it just a bunch of air in my gut? The Philippines is a country rich in tradition, and our ancient folklore isn't something to be undervalued. Unfortunately, the rise of social media has made our younger generations clueless about it. Something has to happen to make it better. And what else is better than Felip's latest banger as the reminder? May 4, 2022. Felip announced this. 18 were like,
Uy, gago kuya, wait lang! Wait lang kuya! Si kuya naman eh! Hindi pa naman ako ready!
It was plain obvious that the next song is going to be based on Filipino mythology. But doesn't it feel like deja vu? It makes me want to say,
I think I've seen this film before.
SB19 has definitely done this many times. Just take a look at Mana. It's a song based on a mythical creature called Manananggal that flies at night to hunt humans and leaves its lower body in a safe place. This cleverly became their metaphor for humbleness because they are performers who seek great heights when it comes to musical success, but they always keep their feet on the ground. What about what?
What?
It's the song where they mention the Iron Maiden, an ancient torture method that puts a person in a standing sarcophagus full of metal blades inside. It might be simple at first, but if you get locked into it for days, you'd end up falling asleep only to wake up over and over again to the pain of blades piercing your body until you give up and end up killing yourself when you couldn't stand anymore. Once again, their collective inventiveness made such a horrifying thing a symbol of real-life trials. Enter Pablo. This song talks about the two lives of a werewolf, which creatively depicted the story of converting self-doubt into acceptance and self-love. But all of these things were nothing compared to this power of manifestation. Just take a listen to this line. Josh low-key predicted Felip's second single.
Philippines! In Philippine mythology, the Bakunawa is a dragon that swallows the moon and causes eclipses.
The legend of the Bakunawa started way back, even before the colonial period. The word was even listed in the Visayan Spanish dictionary, which is a direct translation of the eclipse of the moon. Once upon a time, Bathala created 7 moon deities with the purpose to light up each night of the week. They were Subang, Banilig, Banolor, Bayari, Libulan, Bulan, and Halia. During the nighttime, Bulan, together with his siblings, sometimes comes down to the earth to ease their boredom. Different birds would flock, and reclusive mermaids would surface together and become friendly with the animals to appreciate the siblings' unparalleled beauty and alluring presence. From the dark corners of the deep, the Bakunawa saw their majestic light, which immediately made the dragon obsessed to possess one of them. So it decided to emerge and succeeded in swallowing Subang in one gulp. The Bakunawa returned to the deep as it felt warm and its domain shined with the brightness of Subang's light. But it only lasted temporarily because the moon gradually melted in its gut. This frustrated the Bakunawa, so it flew to the sky to devour yet another moon. Halia was his target this time because her radiant light was just irresistible. But her twin brothers Banilig and Banolor defended her, so they ended up getting swallowed instead. The serpent then retreated again to enjoy his spoils. This scared the heck out of the remaining siblings, so Libulan got himself rescued by his suitor Sidapa, the god of death, who fell in love with him despite knowing they have the same gender. Mayari also left for the purpose of challenging Apulakay, the sun god, to rule over the earth, but she would then be defeated, resulting in her losing an eye, so she would end up settling down by marrying a mortal man who would become the country's first shaman. Interesting stories for sure, but it's for another video.
Daddy, chill.
Anyway, after a few nights, the obsession of the Bakunawa took a turn for the worse as the 2 moons melted in its stomach yet again. At this point, only 2 moons remain, Bulan and Halia. The Bakunawa aimed for Halia, but Bulan defended her, so he ended up getting swallowed instead. In desperation to save Bulan, Halia mustered the light of the stars, which conjured a magic sword that she used to strike the Bakunawa. She managed to hurt the dragon, which resulted in spitting out Bulan. But he was no longer a god. He became a mere young mortal boy. Halia saw this as an opportunity to keep Bulan safe, so she continued to defend herself from the Bakunawa by using her sword for as long as she could. She became a capable warrior and started to cover her face to grieve for his lost brothers and hide her ravishing beauty. Meanwhile, Bulan only remembers his name and retained his carefree and naive attitude. He had this occasional vision of a Bakunawa swallowing a moon, so he started telling it to the townspeople, which scared the heck out of them. Bulan enjoyed it, so he did it more often until the people realized it wasn't true. He was then branded as a liar. On one fateful night, Bulan saw the Bakunawa emerging from the lake, soaring to devour the moon. He immediately told the townspeople about it, but no one would believe him anymore. So he went to distract the Bakunawa by himself. It started chasing him. As Bulan ran for his life, he crashed upon a pile of cooking pans and fell. As he looked back, the Bakunawa was already retreating to the depths. Bulan made such a loud noise that it woke the villagers, so they saw the Bakunawa as it was leaving. That is when they confirmed that it was true. Bulan proceeded to warn them because the Bakunawa might come back anytime soon to consume the moon. The young boy convinced them to fight back and protect the moon as he discovered the Bakunawa's weakness. So the whole village prepared and built the biggest weapon to defeat the evil dragon. When the Bakunawa surfaced again, the people were ready as they rallied together and started making as much noise as possible. However, the Bakunawa still managed to swallow the moon, but not until they rang the biggest gong they ever built. The sound destroyed Bakunawa's wings and it inflicted so much pain that it had to spit out the moon. The Bakunawa fell hard into the water and would never be seen again for a long time. Bulan had no idea that the moon he just saved was actually his twin sister. The legend says that Bakunawa to this day still attempts to swallow the moon once every 2.5 years. That's when the legend of the blood moon was born. The explanation behind the moon's red color is the blood from Halia's wounds inflicted by Bakunawa's deadly bite. This scene represents an ancient childhood game called Bulan Bulan. It's just so commendable how Felip is creatively bringing back his country's rich ancient culture as it deserves to be remembered for generations to come. In Felip's universe, the Bakunawa symbolizes the haters. The eclipse represents trials and tribulations. To save the moon from it, Felip, along with his people, creates music. Music that produces a sound so profound that it sends shockwaves that ignites Halia's burning desire to fight back and cast away this evil being. After all, Halia is us. We are Felip's Bulan.